I can't even believe I'm sitting across from you. The legend. Royce, how you doing today?
As long as you're not going to fight me, we're good.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's. The reason you're in today, obviously, you are the godfather of not just mixed martial arts, but really introducing the world to jiu-jitsu. And now you've got a jiu-jitsu tournament going on pay-per-view at UCLA. Talk to us about it.
Well, it's not an MMA. It's a jiu-jitsu tournament. So, but there's no points. That's the beauty about it.
You've made this very clear in other interviews as well. You absolutely hate point fighting. Yeah. Explain why you think that's a problem for the sport.
Well, martial art was built for self-defense. All the martial arts, doesn't matter if one is better than the other or not, which one is better. They're built for self-defense on the street fight situation. In a street fight, there's no points. So there's no, I won because I tag you. Like Taekwondo, for instance, it became like, okay, they tag each other, and like the Olympics, it's ruining. They're not teaching how to hit to go through the person's body. That's what the real Taekwondo is about.
This event is called Metamorphs 2. I want to talk to you about the color commentator for this pay-per-view, Ed O'Neill. Look, I know I'm late to the game on this, okay? But Ed O'Neill, for those people who don't know, Ed O'Neill's actually a jiu-jitsu black belt. As a matter of fact, he got his jiu-jitsu black belt from your brother.
He's been training for 20 years, maybe.
That's amazing.
He's put his time. He knows about the game. He's very good.
Al Bundy has a jiu-jitsu black belt. That's amazing.
He understands the game, been around for long enough, so he can talk.
There you go. Talk to me about your relationship with Ed O'Neill. You guys met many, many, many years ago.
Oh, he choked me out many times. I don't know how much I like him.
Are you being serious?
Yes, he's good.
Really?
He's good. Like I said, he's been training with my brother for about maybe 20 years or so.
That's interesting.
Private classes, group classes, does that all the way.
You talk about 20 years. That's way before the sport got popular here in America.
Trained with my father, something that was very rare. So met my father many times, took many classes with my father.
Wow. What would you change about the UFC, or what would you change about mixed martial arts today? If you were in charge of the entire sport, what would Royce Gracie change?
I would take the time limit off. That's how I fought. I mean, but then to make it for television would be very hard. So you got to live like it is. On the beginning, there was no time limit, no weight division. But then we have to get an agreement so it becomes legal all over the world. So they put a time limit, they put the weight division. But on the streets, you don't pick the opponents. So you might end up fighting somebody bigger.
Yeah.
There's no time limit on the streets.
It sounds like you don't like the American style of scoring a fight, right? 10-9 rounds and all that.
I don't like it. I mean,
would you change that as well?
I understand. I understand. Let's say I understand. But to change that, then we have to be. For instance, there was a fight that I had with Sakuraba that we fought for about an hour and 45 minutes.
Unbelievable.
So it will be one fight for the entire evening. That's it. If I go home.
You know, but the Pride style, the Japanese scoring system, they had two, sometimes 3 rounds, but usually 2 rounds, and they scored the fight in its totality. They didn't score it by rounds. The Japanese judges basically said who won the fight. Is that a style of scoring that you would rather see?
I would rather see that. Instead, just scoring one round at a time, and because sometimes the guy comes out so strong in the first round, but he doesn't have the endurance.
GSP is a guy that is extremely talented, one of the best ever, but has also been accused of being a point fighter. How would you characterize George St. Pierre? Do you think it's fair to call him a point fighter?
No, he's using good strategy. He's very good on takedowns. He's very good on the grappling. He's very good stand-up. So depending who he's fighting. But look at the opponents. They're very tough too. He became to a level that they're so close together that sometimes it's hard to beat him up, to choke him out, or to knock him out. So yes, then you have to win one round at a time. It's not easy.
GSP is a guy that is extremely talented, one of the best ever, but has also been accused of being a point fighter. How would you characterize George St. Pierre? Do you think it's fair to call him a point fighter?
No, he's using good strategy. He's very good on takedowns. He's very good on the grappling. He's very good stand-up. So depending who he's fighting. But look at the opponents. They're very tough too. He became to a level that they're so close together that sometimes it's hard to beat him up, to choke him out, or to knock him out. So yes, then you have to win one round at a time. It's not easy. It's until you get in there. Everybody have a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson.
That's exactly right. One of the best fighting quotes of all time. All right, GSP, obviously the king of the welterweight division, probably will go down as one of the best welterweights of all time, if not the best. Who's the best MMA fighter in the game today, in your opinion?
Oh, it's hard to pick one. I would say the champions are the champions because they know how to use strategy. They don't just come out to duke it out. Sometimes the crowd wants to see that. They want to see two guys come out and just duke it out. It's entertaining, it's fun. But it's not, for a fighter, I don't like to get hit. So why should I stand in front of somebody and just exchange blows?
Sure.
No, I'm going to use this strategy. I'm going to shoot in, I'm going to keep him away, I'm going to exchange. So it's a strategy game. That's why, I mean, there's a lot of guys, the champions, those are the best.
John Jones, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, all these
They
guys.
all do. They know how to use the strategy. That's why they're the champions.
All right, well, let me ask you in a different way then. Not the best fighter, but who's Royce Gracie's favorite fighter?
Man, I like to watch St. Pierre. I like to watch Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz. They know how to fight. They're tough. They're the whole package. They know how to fight. They're tough. They know how to use strategy. So
you mentioned three names there: George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. I think the fan at home was going to say, Nate Diaz. What do you like about Nate Diaz's game?
Nate, Nick, the whole camp over there remind me a lot of my family. They're tough. They don't choose opponents. They don't pick fights. Whoever you put in front of them, they're not going to walk away. You see, and sometimes they got a little bit of too much attitude. I think they're misunderstood. But it's good. But you have to have that kind of attitude. People want to be friends before the fight. There's no friendship. I'm going to be friends with a guy that's trying to beat me up. So
it's not going to work.
Sometimes I like their attitude about that. They have that attitude. Whoever's fighting them becomes an enemy. I like that.
I think it's fair to say, do you think it's fair to say that you had that attitude back in the day? For some reason, you were the most angry-looking fighter back in the day.
Yes, my family have that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get into an elevator, and there's 2, 3 of us, and the opponent that I'm fighting 2 days from now is trying to get in. My guys, my brothers will go, excuse me, this elevator is full. Wait for the next one. Wouldn't let them in.
I like it.
So it's like there's no friendship, there's no rubbing shoulders, hanging out, let's sit on the same table. There's no such a thing to eat lunch. No, it doesn't exist on that. After the fight, we can hang out. We can be friends.
All right, let me talk to you about UFC 162. Anderson Silva, a guy that I know you admire. You love the way he fights. Very exciting fighter. He's taken on Chris Weidman. Not a lot of people really know Chris Weidman. Obviously, the people don't know Chris Weidman like they know the Spider. How do you see that fight playing out?
There's no such a thing as an easy fight. Nobody's punch-proof. All he needs is one punch to drop Anderson Silva. So I hope Anderson Silva is not taking it light, not taking it easy.
You're a guy who was maybe early on, obviously you had a great strategic advantage with the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but later on in your career, everyone caught up and you still were winning fights at a great rate because of strategy. What kind of strategy do you see Anderson Silva employing against Chris Weidman?
Anderson Silva is very good at putting his strategy on the table, at taking the opponent out of his game, make him look like it was easy, but it's not easy. It is not easy. He's very good stand-up, of course. He got a very good notion on distance. So I bet Anderson Silva can probably knock him out. I think I'll put my money on Anderson Silva. Not because he's Brazilian,
right.
But it's because I think he's a much better stand-up fighter. He got a notion of distance, and it's very hard to get in a clinch with him, very hard to take him down. I don't know if Chris will be able to take him down, will be able to exchange firepower with him standing up.
Metamours 2, 1999 pay-per-view. You should absolutely buy it if you can. It's at UCLA Pauley Pavilion. Let me get some predictions out of you from there. Shinya Aoki.
Don't start with predictions, man. Come on.
Shinya Aoki versus Kron Gracie.
He's very mean. Ayuk is very mean.
Oh, absolutely.
He
We saw him break
he gets the arm
multiple arms.
locks,
Yeah.
people give up, and he continue on breaking. So Cron better watch it, because if he catch it, he will try to break it.
Okay, so
and he will try to make his name on that one.